Is your message getting lost in translation, or do you want fewer misunderstandings? By the end of this video, I'll give you strategies for getting over these top issues. So let's discover the power of clarity in our communication. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a coach and consultant helping professionals just like you master difficult conversations and lead with confidence under pressure. Have you ever walked out of a meeting thinking, well, wait, what just happened? You are not alone. Miscommunication costs businesses around $12,500 per employee every year due to errors, lost productivity, and rework. And that's according to the Holmes report. I think it's a lot more money because I would say that miscommunication happens everywhere and every day. And yep, clarity or the lack of it has a big time price tag, and it's hefty. But here's the good news. Clarity in communication isn't rocket science. It's more like cleaning your windshield. Suddenly, everything becomes visible, and you can move forward with confidence, right? Sometimes, if you think about it as a windshield and your windshield wipers, right? Your windshield wipers are not working. You're getting all of this rain. You're getting all of this stuff thrown against your windshield during a storm. If you don't have the windshield wipers working, or your windshield isn't clear and it's dirty, you can't see the direction. So you need that clarity. And clarity can be your secret weapon, believe it or not. People remember less than 20% of what they hear. Yeah, so we spend all of this time figuring out what we're going to say in our presentations, but according to Harvard Business Review, less than 20% really interpret or remember what is heard. So this means that your brilliant idea, it's likely forgotten if it's buried in the fluff. And for those of you that are marketers, you know that in most corporate structures, there's a lot of fluff to what is written, what is presented, but sometimes the fluff can make that entanglement of what you're really trying to say not clear to customers, not clear to each other, and even what you're trying to do. So I always think about that as an example, because marketers are doing a great job and they're trying to really communicate, but sometimes it's very unclear as to the value that you're really providing with your products and services, right? And employees spend 17 hours per week clarifying unclear communication, which costs companies billions annually. I really agree with this. I think it's probably more than that. I know that I've worked for leaders that while they think that they're being clear, they're so unclear, and it takes a bunch of conversations and meetings and sometimes just picking up the phone to just really understand what they're trying to say on an email, because it's all of this jargon, this corporate jargon that's used, and sometimes you can't read through the lines to say, what's the point? Can you get to the point? I just want to understand what you want me to do. And so I think that could even be at a higher level. And clear communication, it increases team productivity by up to 25%. So when you're clear, you can move faster, stronger, and move in the direction that you want to go. So I know that sometimes I need to do a better job of being clear and getting to the point. So I'm trying to learn every day and put these skills in place so that I am a better leader and I'm communicating better. So the translation here is, if you want to be heard, if you want to be understood, if you want to be remembered, and you want less frustration as a leader, especially if you have folks that work for you, they're getting frustrated too, you're getting frustrated. So if you can make it simple, simplicity beats jargon each and every time. So get rid of all that corporate jargon because nobody understands what it means in the first place. So the clear checkpoint here is, since you were here for actionable tips, here's a 5-second clarity audit that I use with my clients and I use on a regular basis in my corporate world and job, if I could get that out of my mouth, right? So the 5 things that are important that I use as an audit is, first of all, being concise. Can you say what you want to say in fewer words? So get it down as much as possible to a few words. The second is make it logical. Does it follow a natural flow? Or are you just like randomly saying things all over the place? Because that is, not easy to follow for the other person. Also be empathetic. Is it framed with the listener in mind, or is it framed with you in mind? Because the listener may not have any context or understanding of what you're trying to say or do. The fourth is make it actionable. Does it lead to a clear next step? So that is the goal, right? When you're having a conversation, most of the time it's to move the needle forward. So what is the action? What is the clear action step, and who owns that moving forward? And the fifth one is keeping it real. Does it sound like you, not a corporate robot? So if you're using all this corporate jargon and you don't even know what the heck it means, most other people don't know what it means either, but they say it and they use it. I find that all the time. Most of the time, I don't know what it means either, so I don't use it at all. Just get to the point, say things in fewer words, but make your conversation or what you're about to present about the people that are in the room or that person that you're having the conversation with. You need to put words in place so that they understand what the message you're trying to convey. So there is a ripple effect with clear communication. When you communicate with clarity, you're not just saving time, you're building trust. And you also are perceived as someone that is not frustrating to work with. Because when you work with a lot of I don't care who you are, if you're a leader or you're just a doer, when you can't communicate well, people get frustrated with you and they stay away from you or they try to avoid you like the plague. So be clear, get the clarity, saving you time, building that trust, and also being the person that people want to work with. And research shows that 65% of employees cite lack of clarity as the biggest cause of workplace stress. Sign me up. I agree. Most of the stuff that goes on in my corporate job is because people aren't clear, and that's the biggest problem. So imagine what happens when people do understand you. Who would have thought, right? So when people can understand you will have fewer can you clarify moments or emails or the multiple phone calls that go on. You'll have shorter meetings. Hallelujah, right? Maybe you could take a 30-minute meeting down to 15 minutes. That's something I'm working on. I need to do that. I know a lot of people are not in the mind place. They love that hour block, right? We don't have time for an hour block when we have so much going on, right? And you also build a reputation for being the person who just gets it. You're not frustrating to work with. There's a lot of people that are really have great intentions, but they're not clear, so you feel so frustrated working with them. And it takes so much time and effort, and you feel drained. Whereas when you work with someone that's clear and you feel is thoughtful, you enjoy it, even if the project is a little bit more strenuous. So here's your challenge this week. Before you hit send on your next email or open your mouth in the next meeting, ask yourself, if I were hearing this for the very first time, would I get it? So try this for 7 days and watch how people respond to you differently. You'll get more nods, less confusion, and maybe even fewer reply all disasters, which we would all love to have, right? So do you want more on mastering clear communication? I dive deeper into this on my YouTube channel and podcasts So check out an episode that's coming up with the secret of being heard without shouting, and give it a listen and let me know what you think. This is something I specialize in covering inside my Clear method. It's designed to help high achieving professionals show up, speak up, and stand out, even in difficult or toxic environments. And I offer coaching, consulting, and have upcoming courses coming to you as well. So check out my website, and I'll include that in the description below, and also some links to my podcast and some other things that are going on with this channel. So I hope you got something out of this. If you found this content valuable, please consider sharing, please consider subscribing, and we will see you on the next video.